Hi, everybody, and it's welcome back again to Make It Myself, an independent artist forum. Every week has been even better than the previous week, and last week we had some really interesting session with three amazing individuals who've been part of poetry and ghazals and theater. Um, this session I'm doing today, I really thought, it would be so unique to bring in somebody who is literally like a one-man show. And I think, his story, his journey started so young, and he has been at it. He's keeping himself absolutely active in spite of the COVID space. And of course, like me, I'm sure all of you would want to know how is he doing it. So we'd love to, before we talk any further, introduce our guest for today. And I'm here to invite Raghav Sachar. How are you? Did I pronounce your surname properly?
You missed up a bit, but it's okay. Raghav Sachar, it is. But
Sachar.
good, good to see you, Kamini. You and I go a long way back, and it's lovely to be in conversation with you again after a long time.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much. And, I feel really blessed because everyone I've reached out to, this is almost like the 15th session that I'm doing. And every session has just made me realize that there's so many players in the industry, so many
Yeah.
who are doing it in their own capacity. And hence, when I thought of doing something like Make It Myself, and in a way to really get each one of you to talk about how are you doing it, what has been your journey, and how does it feel to be an independent artist who's pretty much in control of what he or she does. So that's why you're here, Raghav, and thank you again for doing this.
My
um,
pleasure.
Ra- yeah, so Raghav, I obviously went through your website, we've known each other and all of that, but I think it is nothing sweeter than hearing it from the horse's mouth. So I know that you started pretty young, but how did things really begin for you?
For this year or generally?
No, the beginning of your career, the beginning of your musical journey. How did it start?
Well, I remember being at a 4-year-old who just crawled out of bed to go to my father, who was playing the harmonica, to my mother, and I asked him for the harmonica, and he was playing Hai Apna Dil To Avara, and I played that back to him at the age of 4. And
Okay.
that basically just made them realize that okay, I have a ear for music. And then there was this program called Chitrahar that used to come.
Yes.
That I'm sure so yesteryear stories now. I feel old when I talk about Chitrahar, but but that was the most entertaining thing that happened. And it used to be I think a weekend every Saturday night there used to be Chitrahar, and I
Right.
would play any song that would play on the TV. I would be able to play it back on the harmonica.
Yeah.
And mind you,
Okay.
harmonica is an instrument which you cannot teach anybody because like with the piano or the guitar, you have all the frets in front of you or you have the keys in front of you, you can visually see them. But with the
Hmm.
harmonica, it's in your mouth, so you are not able to see what you're playing. So it's fabulous to have if you want to know if you have a good ear for music or if you have a good ear for rhythm. Generally,
Right.
it's amazing to be able to start off with the harmonica to check if
Right.
somebody already has it inborn. You know, that was the inception. Then every birthday, I got a gift from my father, which was a musical instrument of my choice, and that continued till I was
Okay.
18. My bachelor's of music. I did Trinity College London. I did short courses Royal School of Music. In bachelor's of music, I did music composition and performance. I learned jazz. That was my major. My main instrument was saxophone. I picked up many
Hmm.
many instruments over there. And now I play 36 instruments. I
Wow.
became a producer, a composer just on my own. I did not have any formal training in production or composition or anything, but that automatically just happened. And I've been always a person who does not like to wait for other people to do my job. Like I'm not a person who would want to wait for somebody to come and sing or somebody to come and compose or create. I would take the things in my own hands, and that's how I've been able to expand a lot. To be very honest, if I was not able to expand and do everything myself, then I would have been really, really poor by now by paying so many people for so many things. Slowly, slowly, I've just invested in myself and my own art form, and I've been extremely lucky that God has given me the inclination to get dive into things and use technology to my benefit and get things done without without getting too many people involved.
I think that's amazing. I mean, like I said, the title of "Make It Myself" itself, I think you kind of epitomize it in every way. But tell me, there was a time when obviously it was necessary for you to bring the industry into your life, and you had a release with Saregama.
Right.
Why did you take that route, and how easy was it for you to approach a label to have this release?
I would, to be very honest, my life was on an autopilot till I would say till I was about 26, 26, 27.
Okay.
Easily. Because everything was just वो बोलते हैं ना कि किस्मत एक ऐसी चीज है and stars are something that when they are working for you they are just working for you and then you don't need to do
Right.
anything, you don't need to meet anyone, you don't need to
Anything.
tell anyone anything, it just automatically just
Right.
happens. So this was happening with me ever since I mean till you're a student your life is in your parents' hands. By the time
Correct.
I became a student and I went to Australia and did my education, I started getting independent and independently
Right.
handling myself. It was a very different change, but that's what made me the person I am today. That entire international education gave me, made me understand the value of our parents, of our value system of India, how we are,
Right.
the overall 360 development. And
Right.
while that was going on, I was coming to India very often, and I was already before going to Australia a major part of a lot of ad films,
Okay.
a lot of creation ad world in Delhi. So Pradeep Sarkar,
Okay.
who's a very dear friend, who had
Right.
his company, he's also from Delhi. He was thriving
Right.
on ads at the time, and
Right.
I'm talking about
Right.
late 90s, this is 95 onwards, and
Right.
I was a part of, I had created the Pepsi jingle. Yeah, he had right choice, baby. If you remember that jingle.
Oh, yes, of
And
course.
a lot of the Raymond jingles, the Uncle Chips, Bole, mere lips, I love Uncle Chips.
Oh
Shantanu,
my God.
that jingle I had coordinate. So
You've
I
done
was,
some iconic jingles, yeah. That's what I mean. Those
yeah,
were and those were songs. They were not jingles. They were songs. They were
yeah,
chorus lines that stuck in your head.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Nirma, part of Nirmala, but all the entire Jing Bang I had done, Coca Cola, a lot of them. So
Okay.
I was very majorly involved in that. So I had a base that I had made with Shantanu and with Pradeep, and they all
Right.
shifted to Bombay while I was
Right.
doing my education abroad. And
Okay.
I remember one of the times while I was in Australia, Shantanu told me कि तेरे को छुट्टी है तो तू आ जा. I said, yeah,
Okay.
I have to pay for my airfare and I'll have to come and stay. So he said, stay away, so no problem. You come and stay with us, and
Awesome.
I will make you make enough money that your airfare is covered. So
Wow.
during Easter break, there was a 1 week break, and you would not generally travel. And I came and gave a surprise to my parents. My father was like furious that how on earth did you decide? We are from a service background. My father's ex-army,
Right.
retired director of police. So you don't have that kind of cash lying
Right.
around where you would just take an international flight and travel.
Correct.
So I had a major fight with him, and I got back. Everybody was excited to see me, but I had a fight with him, and he said that तुम कैसे आ गए? Who's going to pay for this? And I said, I'll pay for it myself. You don't have to worry about it. He said,
Right.
I earn 30,000 rupees in a month, and this
Right.
ticket and everything is going to cost you some 50,000. How on earth are you going to make that money in 7 days?
Right.
I said, you leave
Right.
that up to me, and I took the next flight. The next morning, I took a flight and I came to Bombay, and I told Shantanu कि तू कुछ भी कर, मेरे को चेक दे, क्योंकि मैं तो जाके वो चेक पापा को फ्लॉन्ट करना है. And you have a teenage son, daughter, and you know how. I mean, that was a matter of pride. I said, I don't care if the check bounces the next day. I want to show it to him, and you better give me enough work. Shantanu was very kind, very sweet, and I did so many ads. I played in so many films at that time. It was just that perfect time that it was happening. Shantanu was very very busy. There was हजारों ख्वाहिशें ऐसी का रिकॉर्डिंग चल रहा था. शुभा मुद्गिल जी की एल्बम का रिकॉर्डिंग चल रहा था.
Right.
So all this was happening, and one of those recordings for Shubhaji was happening in Spectral Harmony, the studio, and I went there, and Atul Churamani, who was a very dear friend,
Yeah.
was there, and he saw me play on these multiple instruments, and he offered me an album. He said, "Why don't you do an album?" He was the VP, I think, at HMB at that time, and he said that I really like what you're doing, and I want to offer you an
Right.
instrumental album because that's not been done for the longest time. And do you sing and stuff like that? I said, "I don't sing. I only play instruments, and I don't compose." So he said, ठीक है, जब भी तुम्हारा ये ऑस्ट्रेलिया से खत्म होगा, you let me know and I will offer you this album. Anyway,
Right.
things happened. I went back home with a 60,000 ka check and I flaunted in front of my father. He's like, "Chalo, theek hai, whatever it is." I went back to Australia. While I was in Australia, I wrote an email to Atul saying that are you serious about this? Because I have other opportunities, but then I will only leave Australia and come back to India if this is a confirmed situation, because I'll have to shift base from Delhi.
Right.
So I need you to
Right.
support me for that. And I spoke to Shantanu. I said, "What if I shift base? Will you guys be able to give me enough work and so on and so forth?" So all this happened. I finished my application on 3rd of April. I packed my bags from Delhi. I bought a car. I told my father, "You pay for it, I will pay you back." All that jig bang happened. I bought a very fancy car at that time.
Okay.
Very confident. You don't fear when you are a teenager or when you're like just 22. I was 22. You just don't have any fear at all of
Right.
anything, and you're just
Yeah.
looking for yourself and to make it.
Right.
So I drove
Right.
down with a friend of mine, and Papa arranged for our accommodation in the IPS mess and all that. For about 3 months, we were there. I got a lot of work done from Shantanu. I got into the ad circuit. I got into the film circuit to play for multiple music directors as a session
Right.
musician. And
Right.
initially, I earned money from there. And I got the first album through Atul as promised, which was a critically acclaimed album. It did not do anything drastically major in the commercial
No.
scene. And this was in 2003. The album released in November of 2003, and I had shifted to
Okay.
Bombay on 3rd of April of 2003.
Okay.
And the next, after that, since nothing much had happened, HME wanted to sign me for 3 years, but I said that since nothing much has happened, I don't want to bind
Yeah.
myself with it.
Right.
And I signed up with Universal for a 2-album deal in 2005.
Okay.
And I did a second album, 24 Carat, which had me producing music, composing music, singing. I got a laptop from Mexico. I got into Logic. I started doing all the production side of it. And I did not, I had all the friends, Sunidhi, Shreya, not Shreya, I think Sunidhi, Kailash, Kunal, I mean, you name it. All of these guys were there in the second album. And I was also singing in the second album. And then the next step came and fell again in my lap, which was Kabul Express with Yashraj. That's how I
Right.
became a composer for films. And that
Right.
all continued till about 2008, 2009, till the global economy fell down. And as I said, that I was on autopilot till then. Things were just happening on its own,
Right.
on their own. Everything was just
Right.
coming in line itself. And after
Right.
that, things changed. Then the struggle started, so to say.
Wow. So most people go through the struggle and get to a place. So you experienced a smooth start, and then there
Yeah.
was a little bit of a hiccup. But at that point, when the struggle actually started, as you put it, did you ever get into a phase where you felt maybe you rushed into this, or maybe this was something you could have kept on the side and had some kind of a steady job? Did that ever come into your thinking?
Not at all, never. Actually,
Yeah.
the smooth start really helped me because the smooth start gave me the money, which is the biggest issue of a struggle. See, struggle
Yeah.
is also not every struggle is not money related struggle. Struggle is
Of course.
of multiple kinds. So,
Yes.
money related struggle is the most difficult struggle, I would say, because then your livelihood is challenged. In this
Right.
case, with me, luckily by 2008, I had made a name for myself. I had
Right.
done about 8 films by then. I had done an independent album. I had done so money. Luckily, was not the issue, and I
Right.
was earning enough for myself, quite handsomely, in fact,
Right.
at that time with concerts and and everything else, and films,
Right.
whatever was happening. So
Right.
our which ways for any musician in India, the main income is concerts. So if you are a
Correct.
performing artist, you will
Right.
rarely have situations where the money becomes a major problem till the time you're a performing artist. Of course,
Right.
situation like COVID completely challenged that theory, because since that is the main source of income,
Right.
that is challenged. So
Right.
luckily, that smooth start gave me enough to earn my livelihood and sustain myself independently without having to ask money from my parents, and to do
Correct.
that. And struggle continuously happened because everything in this industry has in the film industry or the independent industry is very cyclic.
Right.
Trends
Yeah.
change, things change.
Yeah.
It's quick. You would not realize how quickly it is changing. And if you
Right.
don't change with them, then it becomes difficult
Right.
to kind of update. And you need to have, so to say, a hand over your head. That is the one thing that people from like me who come from a very so to say different background altogether, have nothing to do with the film industry as such, and don't have, so to say, a Maibap or a, how do you call it, like the
Godfather.
godfather
Yeah.
of the industry to help you and keep a hand on you. These are the issues that you get into, because people are very quick to receive you and compliment you, and they are quicker to dismiss you and
Yeah.
disregard you altogether.
Yeah.
So, so the hiccups that I'm talking about are probably if I had done, like Kabul Express gave me a very big boost. The
Right.
films that happened after that did not, unfortunately, be successful, and it's not because of the music that they were not successful. It's just that the films were not successful.
Correct. Yeah.
Uh,
I mean, that's the classic case of any Bollywood music. If the film, I think the only music that still managed to pick up gain some momentum in spite of the film not doing that well was Devdas. But
yeah,
it still was pretty heavily impacted. And I mean, that was also the scene when Universal decided to stop investing into films. But
right.
so rather one very interesting, thought that I had, which I thought I should ask you is, during that entire phase of struggle where you pretty much have to figure, and like you said, there were certain things that kind of came into your lap, you were going on a certain flow, and then possibly there was a dip and you had to figure out what to do next. This question is more on the lines of, what would you suggest to artists who, I mean, the last 8 months has been a global situation for every artist, but you faced it even in a pre-COVID scenario, like a lot of artists do. I don't think it's a unique, but a lot of artists give it up or they don't know what to do, and you do hear a lot of adverse reaction to it. How did you keep your cool? You know,
See, the whole idea about the industry is that, or being a musician, to be very honest, is that talent is one part of it. Luck is
right,
a significant part of it. You cannot disregard it at all. It is, in fact, the most important part of being an artist is to be lucky as an artist. And that's what I told you. When things are falling in your lap, I had just gone to meet SG and he offered me Kabul Express. So, and after that,
right,
I've not done a single Yash Raj after that. So मैं कितने भी हाथ पैर मार लूं, वो जब आना होगा वो अपने आप ही आएगा. So I was never a firm believer of destiny. I became a firm believer of destiny because it happened to me. And
right,
keeping a cool and keeping a cool head is the most important thing, I think, in any situation. See, if by stressing or if by taking unnecessary amount of thought processes in my system, if I can change my surrounding, if I can change the situation, I will stress
mm,
24 hours. I'm generally a
mm,
person who is very emotional, and I do stress a lot. But this is just experience and maturity, I would say, over a period of time that has come to me, and I'm telling you this now. I would not be telling you this about 10 years ago. I was stressing
yeah,
like a madman. I'm telling you this now
right,
because after stressing also, you've not bought anything more. You've just spoiled that time also that you had. So the point is to
true,
look at silver lining and to look at, as I said, that thankfully my existence was not deterred.
Right.
Some years were very good, some years were very bad. But the thing is
Right.
that the good years covered up for the bad years. So you were averaging at a kind of a above average situation.
Right.
In this time frame,
Right.
I made my own music label. I created my own music label. I released my own independent albums. I became a director. I became a cinematographer. I took all of these things on my head because I again did not have the money or did not want to put in the money to hire a
Right.
lot of people, to start shooting videos. But I wanted my content to be out
Right.
simultaneously. So
Right.
these are the choices that I made. Instead of investing say about 10 lakhs का videos करो, वो 10 lakh आप equipment में invest कर दो and you become the sole source of creating that product. So in today's
Yeah.
time, I am able to create. I'm writing lyrics. I'm creating music. I'm doing the cinematography. I pilot a drone very well. I do all of this myself, and this is just a tech thing that I have,
Hmm.
which I have expanded. But a lot of people are not able to do that, because of which the income that they generate is all put in again into the scene.
Right.
And like I have also done, I've created a studio for myself, which is expensive, which is very lavish, but that is again a passion for for music that I have, that I wanted to
Right.
spend that much. But
Right.
the whole idea is that you have to keep your cool down. You have to keep your
Right.
cool, and then you have to move forward with a positive state of mind and think that this too shall pass, and it has passed in the past.
Right.
uh,
Right.
it will can happen again with COVID times. Also, it's a very difficult time for all of us. We are
Correct.
digging deep into our savings, like deep as in super deep, because your standard of living has reached an X amount, where if you
Yep.
don't make that kind of money, your
Right.
outgoings are still there.
Yeah.
Plus you
Yeah.
have a family, plus you have children, plus you have elder parents, plus all of that midlife crisis, as they call it,
Right.
is happening.
Yeah.
And
But
this is
Raghav, it's. I mean, I have to say, it's amazing how you have. I mean, if I was to kind of just sum it up in one sense, you have taken the initiative of educating yourself and multitasking to a point where there is a sense of ownership. There's a sense of fulfillment, and creatively also, you're constantly keeping your gray cells alive because it is. I mean, at the end of the day, I think you're as human as the other person, but it's the inclination that you have put forward to be able to
yeah,
actually. And one of the things I'd also like to say, Raghav, is I really appreciate the fact that you haven't stayed only towards the music and the learning of music. Even as a presenter, I mean, the way you perform, the way you present yourself. I think all of that is a package that is very relevant in today's time,
right, right.
right?
Now
So
I've made
I
a
mean,
lot of to do that.
yes,
Of course, you have to keep yourself active, and see,
right,
idle mind is the devil's workshop. It is absolutely true, and it is very very true
right,
for me. And all we artists are generally so emotional that we take
right,
everything too hard. All criticism we take too hard, but you cannot please everybody. It's as simple as that. So you have to take what you
true,
get.
true,
Sometimes you will get a lot of appreciation, sometimes you will get a lot of slack. But then again, what can you do about it?
right. And tell me, how much time do you, especially, a lot of times, like a lot of artists, even earlier sessions that I've had, where they say, this is the time where we are putting all our attention back in our art, spending more time to get better with, if we are musicians, if we are singers. Is that something that you see yourself also doing more when, during this lean period, or were you always having a strict regimen? Okay, I need to practice this much. I mean, considering you have 36 instruments, I'm sure you have less hours for each of them in that
Yeah.
sense.
Got it. No, unfortunately, I have not been very, very, particular about the rehearsals, and about
Sure.
the just the honing the art to the X level. I would very clearly tell you that if the performance technique that I had when I had
Right.
just come back from Australia, because all I did in Australia for 3 years was excessive practice, excessive. Like I can't even tell you how many hours I used to faint after practicing, because this takes so much of air when you're playing
Yeah.
saxophones. Or I had
Yeah.
injuries, I would start bleeding from my mouth, and all of that used to happen. But I would rehearse for 12 hours, 10 hours together, which made my muscles very strong and stuff like that. now if I have to play even for an hour continuously, I will start, I will see the physical issues and changes. Now, all of these instruments that I play are extremely complicated, and they have their own set of physical issues that come with them. Like playing the flute, you have a shoulder issue. Playing the guitar, you have a shoulder issue. All of these
Yeah.
things with age, of course, are coming in,
Right.
and the point is that you're not practicing it enough. The good thing again is that when
Sure.
I'm doing concerts, we are doing so many of them or rehearsals that you do get to brush up a little bit on each and every instrument. I don't know
Yeah.
if you follow
That's
me on
true.
Insta or not. I play different instruments on different days and different times, and I play this game called Antara Antara with my fans on it, which again pushes me to pick up some instrument or the other out of the big array of 36 and
Right.
play.
Right.
My rehearsals, I would say, are subject to concerts. My time right now is majorly divided between family and my time for myself, and largely everything is taken by the family. And my aim is also to rush back home to them. While even I was before COVID also, and right now we are at Igatpuri at our bungalow for the last 8 months. So the
Right.
family time has been amazing. But yes, I would love to give more time to the art if
Right.
I had more hours.
Right. Right. No, but I think it's amazing, and hats off for you to just keep your mind stable, sane. Especially when you're with family, because creative minds tend to get frustrated. I mean, I can speak for myself. We have four of us who've been in the house together for so many months, and I think by this point we're like, okay, we need to step out and step away.
I can
But yeah, I mean, your kids are small, so I'm sure everything they do every day is interesting.
yes.
Raghav, before we sign off, I do this with every guest, just to ask, what does the term "make it myself" mean to you?
Well, make it myself. I think the term was born with me when I was born. I feel because I am trying to expand in any and every field. In fact, in the middle, I got into coding as well. I got
Wow.
into creating my own apps. So all the websites that you see that are my own websites, that are all made by
Okay.
me.
Wow.
I don't hire a second, third person to come and do the job, for me. I in fact created an app also of my own while coding. But again, I've taken up so many things that
Right.
you and so many technology is something that changes so rapidly
Yeah. You
that
can never know it all. Yeah.
you can never know it all. And I just realized that if I put myself in so many things, I will not have time for anything. So I'm expanding into the creative scene, and what I really absolutely need to know, without
Yeah.
going into the apps, without going into all of this. But my latest project now is to make a school of music, which I would love to have. It's already ready, and we are just trying to partner with an Australian school to teach
Nice.
sound production, instruments, and so on and so forth. So that is my next baby, so to say, which is on the cards. But besides that, I'm just expanding myself as a director, as a composer, as an artist, to do whatever I can in whatever capacity I can independently. But I will definitely need an investor to come in some point in time, because marketing is the
Right.
most important. Creativity is one aspect of it, but if you don't market what you do,
Sure.
then it just
Yes.
it's pretty much staling
It
there and
fizzles
doesn't
out.
do much. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
it fizzles out, and you need that push, and everything unfortunately is money related. It's nothing to do with how talented you are at the end of the day. How visible you
Right.
are is what is important.
Yeah, I mean, I think the baseline is, good content and good initiatives also need equal visibility as against to something that we call as mediocre. But thank you so much, Raghav. It was so amazing. I think I learned so much. I'm feeling way more inspired even speaking to you, and I hope when people get to see this even later, hopefully they'll have pages from your life that they can apply to themselves. But thank you again, and have a great day and happy time with your kids.
Thank you, my pleasure. So good to see you again. Take care.
Same here. Take care. Stay safe.
Thanks.
Bye.